Greetings, Hillsborough County. My name is C.J. Roberts, and I'm the president and CEO of the Tampa Bay History Center and the chair of the Hillsborough Arts Council. This year, Hillsborough County is participating in a nationwide art and economic prosperity study to gather information about local nonprofit arts and cultural organizations. Now, if you're as passionate about the arts as I am, then you already know that a vibrant arts community helps local businesses thrive, invests in our county's economic well-being, and enhances overall quality of life. In order to show the impact the arts have on our community, we need your help. So if you're out and about at an arts event or a museum, you might be selected to take a quick, completely anonymous survey as part of this important study. Please consider participating in this survey, as it will help support the Hillsborough County arts community. The comprehensive data needed for this study is not possible without your help. So please take the survey and let's make art count.
I'd like to call to order the Executive Committee meeting for September 16th of 2022 for the County Public Safety Coordinating Council. Ms. Preza, roll call, please.
Ms. Julianne Holt.
Here.
Sheriff Chronister.
Colonel Christy Poor for Sheriff Chronister.
Chief Judge Figueroa.
Here.
Ms. Stewart. Here. Judge Conrad.
Here.
Ms. Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Overman.
Here.
Chief O'Connor,
Assistant Chief Lee Burkaw here for Chief O'Connor.
Mr. Bates.
Here.
Mr. Proctor.
I'm here.
Note Mr. Proctor is appearing virtually.
Yes, I am.
Mr. Parkinson.
Here.
Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you very much. We have with us today State Attorney Susan Lopez. And Ms. Lopez, if you'd like to make any comments to the Executive Committee, and we welcome you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Holt. Thank you very much. My name is Susie Lopez, and I am the new state attorney, and I am looking forward to serving on this committee and learning more. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. In your board packet today is the minutes from April 22nd of 2022. If you could please review the draft minutes, and if we could have an appropriate motion.
Move
So
approval.
moved.
Oh,
Motion
sorry.
to approve by Commissioner Kimberly Overman, a second by Clerk of Court Cindy Stewart. Are there any comments, additions, corrections, deletions to the minutes? Okay. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. Everyone is so awake today. This is so good. Old business, there is none. New business, let's go first to the clerk's data sharing agreement update before we look for agenda items so that we can make sure that we have our two presentations completed.
Sure. Tanya, do you have the slide presentation? Or Christine?
HCTV should be populating the presentation for Ms. Cindy Stewart.
There we go. Okay, we can move to the next slide. So as you all know, the clerk's office took the lead on a data share redesign that involves many of you at the table here. We asked the county to support us in this effort by giving us American Rescue Plan dollars to move this needle on a long overdue project. And really is to assess how the data and the images are being used, create some gap analysis, identify currently unmet needs and enhancements, and implementation of this across CJIS partners. So things are going well. We have hired Presidio to do the initial work. I believe phase 1 is completed. You can see, if you go to the next slide, the stakeholders is pretty much everyone at this table. And so I'm pleased to say we are well past the kickoff and consent and discovery pieces. Presidio's been working, I believe, with someone from every one of your agencies. So we are, if you go to the last slide, statuses, really just we're on track. We extended phase 1 of completion to the end of this month. Due to some things that we discovered, and they increased the budget a little bit by about $30,000 for Presidio. We will continue to move forward in delivery and strategy implementation in phase 2, and I will bring you back an update soon.
Any questions for Ms. Stewart? Commissioner Overman.
I was very glad to see this project moving forward. Obviously, moving into the 20th century is always a good thing, most of the time. During the flag list process, I asked for a requisition to be able to work with our various different data sources to be able to track capacity of the facilities and the services and the partners that we have that provide the safety net services that we talk about here quite a bit. And to have an intersection with DCF, since DCF's services interface with not only our court system, but our clerk system in many ways. I think it would be very helpful to get a clear understanding of the scope before I move forward on this other project. The reason I mention that is that during the many meetings with the Community Alliance that works with our families, our entire lead system, our case management system, the guardian ad litem, the court system, have all, as well as the families that are either in kinship or foster families or placement families that are going through the process, have all indicated that it would be very helpful to have like a dashboard or something to help. That's one element. But then the other issue is to make sure that we understand capacity. Mr. Berkaw knows that every once in a while in our situations with human trafficking victims, whether they're adults or children, finding resources for being able to provide secure, safe housing for these individuals is oftentimes difficult because we have no measure of capacity. And literally, it's data tracking. So I'd be very interested in following through on this so that as the scope of the project that I put on the flag list gets designed, that we can capitalize on the work that you're already doing. And I thank you for the work that you're doing.
No problem. I will have the lead, Michelle Decker, check and see if that falls within the scope of the work they're doing.
Any other comments or questions of Ms. Stewart? Thank you very much. Juvenile Mental Health Court Enhancement Project. We have a presentation on that, and while they're getting ready for that, certainly once again, Public Defender's Office and our community thanks the Chief Judge for having created a juvenile mental health court here in Hillsborough County. It is the largest problem-solving court that we have right now in terms of how many individuals we're serving. And so this is an enhancement that we're excited to see in place. And Marie Marino is here from my office, who has been instrumental in working with everybody to have these enhancements. And Chief always tells me that she's doing a good job. So Marie, thank you very much for the work you do. Appreciate it. Go ahead, if you would, introduce yourselves first, and then your presentation hopefully will populate.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you very much for allowing us to come and present to you today. My name is Deb McGinty, and I work with Rob Parkinson in the Criminal Justice Office here at the county, assisting with grants coordination and development.
Hey, I'm Pam Jeffrey with Success for Kids and Families. Thank you so much for allowing us to come and present about this wonderful program. We're so excited to be part of this project, so I look forward to y'all hearing more about it.
So I think I'm going to start off. The presentation that's showing is prepared by Success for Kids and Families, who is our primary service provider with this program. And Rob asked me to come and give you a little bit of history regarding this program, and I think Ms. Holt touched on basically the passion that surrounds what's being done with this program and the fact that we are just completing kind of the inaugural quarter of this program and already experiencing success in the numbers of youth that are being served and actually some of them that are moving through. So all the primaries that were involved, which is State Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, obviously the Chief Judge, all knew what was needed, and we got it put down, and we had to apply. We had to apply a couple times for a grant opportunity to get this, but we're very excited about the opportunity. This is a grant that is through the Department of Children and Families, and it's the Criminal Justice and Substance Abuse Mental Health Grant, and it comes with a lot of requirements, and some of those requirements get shared with our partners here. One of them being that we need to establish a match, a one-for-one match for the program. This program, I believe, is just over $1 million in an award for 3 years. That money is all passing through to our partner, Success for Kids and Families, for direct service to the clients, and a very small amount of administrative fee goes with that. During the development of the concept of what we could do to enhance services for this court, that's been happening for, I think, over a year and a half. It's involved multiple meetings. We've really hit some really nice milestones in the last couple months. We've established advisory boards. We've established biweekly meetings. Pam is working very hard to fully staff the program, but the folks that she has on board so far are phenomenal. The concept of this program, and this was one of the challenges for getting us funded, was that we wanted to be able to serve every youth that was going through the mental health court, the Juvenile Justice Mental Health Court. And that's kind of a hard sell when you have some funders like DCF that say they have to have a significant mental health or substance abuse co-occurring disorder situation. So we kind of stayed firm with that and said, we don't know for some of these youth that are coming through, you know, if they're incompetent, there's a question of competency because of whatever maturity age intellectual challenge, that type of thing, we don't want to leave them behind. And so we came up with a couple sets of outcomes to be able to encompass that for everyone. We do have one really important thing that we fought for as well to include, and we're actually funding through our office, through the Criminal Justice Trust Funds, and that is an evaluation to kind of add on to what the clerk is talking about with data, and Commissioner Overman is talking about data rules, because that's how we get funding. That's how we show our effectiveness with the program. So we have Dr. Ringhoff, who some of you are familiar with. He is very versed in our forensic systems and our juvenile systems, and we've got him on board, and he's already set up a data tracking system for this program. And we're going to be looking forward to sharing that information with you guys in the future. So I'm going to turn it over to Pam.
Okay, thank you. So if you want to go to the first slide. I thought I would just take just a minute or two just to tell you a little bit about Success for Kids and Families for those of you who are not familiar with our agency. So we've been around for about 17 years. We have about 80 employees, 25 independent contractors. We're COA accredited. In fact, we just had our COA site visit Monday and Tuesday, so I'm feeling very relieved. This was not the most stressful thing on my calendar for the week, so that was a good thing. I'm done with COA. This was a breeze. So I'm thrilled to say we are going to be COA accredited for another 4 years. Tampa Bay Journal's Nonprofit of the Year in 2012, and we continue to be a top workplace. As Deb mentioned, right now, everybody is having a lot of trouble with hiring, and we are not alone there, but hopefully, given the fact that we are a good place to work, we'll be able to get this program staffed quickly. If you can go to the next slide. Our kind of core values are about being family-driven, which is a big part of this program, about being community-based, culturally competent, strengths and needs focused. Those are the values that really Success for Kids and Families is built on. And so we provide case management services, therapy services, education, and almost all of our programs, which I think is really important, certainly for the YES program, but all of our programs are community-based. And so we go in people's homes, in the communities. We meet with them where it's convenient for them, where they want to meet with us, and hopefully that takes down one of the barriers. Because, and as we know, especially in this very large county, transportation can be an issue and that kind of stuff. So that should never be an issue with this program, because we will come to them. We'll come to them for the family navigation piece. We'll come to them for therapy if that's what they need. That's a little bit just about our agency. I want to bring up my two program people, because they're the ones who are actually working this program every day. So I want to introduce Ruth Power, our Director of Program, and Paula Helgwin, who is actually the manager of the YES program, and they're going to talk a little bit more specifically about the program.
Thanks, Pam. So my name's Ruth Power, and I'm the Director of Programs for Success for Kids and Families. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the program. Before I do that, I just would really like to say thank you. This program would not have happened if it had not been for your blessing and for your initiative to get this going. So we really, really appreciate that, and the families in Hillsborough County appreciate that. If we can switch to the next slide, that'd be great. Oh, keep going. So the goal of the program basically is let's get these kids out of the court system. Let's get them living their lives and being successful members of the community. In order to do that, we need to address whatever needs are happening within the family. Is it the kids' mental health needs? Is there something going on with the family? Are there benefits that the family qualifies for that they're not getting? Can we help them to do that? Is there an issue with something that's happening in school? What's going on with the family? And that's what the program is all about. So it's all about meeting and stabilizing their behavioral health needs and addressing whatever factors impact social determinants of health. Okay, next slide, please. So the way kids get into the program is they're referred through juvenile mental health court, through either the court the state attorney's office or the public defender's office. We get our referrals through the juvenile mental health court staffing process that actually Judge Figueroa and Paula can tell you as many details about that as you would like. We're using evidence-based practices, including things like motivational interviewing and cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's all based based on the CANS and the CAT. Again, Paula can tell you all about that. She's been receiving all sorts of training about becoming an evaluator for that. So, next slide, please. This program has 2 tiers. Every kid that comes through juvenile mental health court is eligible to be evaluated for Tier 1. In Tier 1, we provide a family navigator who works with the parent and with the family to get them the services that they need. Now, when I say works with the family, I'm talking about sits with the mom or the dad or the grandmom or the caregiver and really talks about what is it that's going on. And as we identify needs, we walk with that mom to get them through whatever they need. If they need to go down to the Social Security office or they need to go to the school, then we're going to go with them. And if that's what they want, if that's what they need, and we'll get them through it. It's not about handing them a piece of paper and saying, call this number, and then chasing it around as we all have heard tales of. And for those of us in the social service system, those have experienced that. So we just don't do it that way. So family navigation in Tier 1. In Tier 2, so that's the next slide. In Tier 2, when kids are evaluated to need therapy services, we will have a therapist. We're working on it. We will have a therapist who's available to work with those kids to bridge the gap as they get into more permanent services. It may be that our therapist is all that's needed. As they're completing their steps through juvenile mental health court, it may be that our therapist is all that's needed in the family. Or it may be that they need to be connected with other services in the community. So whatever is needed, that's how we'll do that. And then the family navigator and the therapist will work together to make sure that happens. All right, next slide. Here's our community partners. One of the things that we know is that we can't do this by ourselves. It just doesn't work to do this by ourselves. We're not trying to replace services that already exist in the community. On the contrary, we're trying to work with those services to make sure that our kids in the court are able to get in and able to work their way through those services. So we have members from each of these areas on our advisory board, and actively participating on our advisory board. So it's really an exciting time for collaboration. Okay, next slide. I think this one's yep, here you go.
Good morning. My name is Paola Holguin. I am the supervisor for the YES program. Thank you. So, you already know everything about YES, right? By now, I bet. YES started as a program on May 1st. So far, we received 36 referrals. We've been able to serve 25 families, 19 of them in Tier 1, 6 of them in Tier 2. It's a beautiful process, though. I just have to say it. We're very active in case staffing. We're very active in the court process. We receive the referral. We make the first contact with the family. Usually, the judge or the attorneys introduce the family to us as a staff during court, so the family knows what to expect. So whenever we made that first initial phone call to the family, they know who we are, right? Because some of these families receive many calls in the day from many services, school, case management, and without talking about the scams, but so they know what to expect from us. So once we do the initial phone call, the initial contact, we do what we call the screening to make sure that we're the right fit for the family. We just don't want to overserve families just to put a number on our thing. We really want to make an impact. We really want to be what they need. So this is what we're doing. We're doing the screening. Some families are already engaged in services, and we made the decision during case staffings, like, yes, it's not really needed for this family right now, or yes, it's really needed for this family right now. With the families that we work right now, it's been a very slow but promising process, right? The needs are a variety of needs, from homeless people to kids that cannot get to school because they have no clothes or because they have no transportation. So we try to meet them where they are. And we're trying as much as we can to work in that relationship that sometimes they need. We all need someone, right? So we're trying to be that someone for the family and that someone for the kid. So this is where we are right now. Yes, we're short of staff a little bit. We're still really looking for trying to hire a therapist. However, the services are being provided. As an agency, we're working together. I am the program manager, but I'm also a licensed mental health clinician, so I'm providing therapy as well. And yeah, did I miss anything?
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'd love to answer any questions that you have.
Before we get into questions or comments, Ms. Marino, if you would come up, please, since you are someone that actually appears and works in the courtroom, and explain what your impression is of how it practically works and what the real benefits have been to the clients that we represent and how this has really been the enhancement.
Well, thank you, Ms. Holt. It's a joy to be here. We're the first juvenile mental health court in the state of Florida. We come from a lineage of problem-solving courts in this community, and this one has just been a privilege to be a part of because we grow and grow every quarter, every half year, every year. And we were hitting a plateau, and this program has allowed us to just transform and get to that next place. Hats off to the county for their efforts. It was so difficult to get this grant. We worked very hard in conjunction with them. Hats off to Judge Ficarota for just having the vision to let us keep climbing, and here we are today. So from a practical aspect, before this program came to pass, we relied on community resources to the best that they were able to come serve us. We didn't have any method of forcing folks to continue to work with our kids. 3 times they would interact with providers in the community and on a phone call, and then the providers wouldn't take the case if our clients weren't able to connect. That's not a strategy for success. This is an operation of glue. They're staying with the families. We see it every single day. I know Judge can speak to it as well. Where we had a dead end on a case, we have yes popping up in our staffings telling us this is what we're doing and this is what we're going to continue to do. The passion in Success for Kids and Families, they've already been a friend of the court in multiple programs, and we're a very good friend to the court, but now this is a designated resource for the court. And Paola is, she doesn't take no for an answer trying to help our families. Our families need assistance, everyone. It's not just therapy, it's everything that leads to the point where we can successfully bring a kid to the table. And that's what difference this makes. I don't know that they mentioned it, but they have incidental funds. They're paying for Ubers to get kids to places. They're paying for kids to get into football. If they're in an alternative school and can't play football through their regular school, they're paid to help a parent get money to move, to pay for their first payments. I know this will come out in the courts as this program continues to do these things. It's a game changer. It's a privilege to be part of it. And thank you for asking me to give my 2 cents, Ms. Holt and Chief Judge and the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, is there anything you'd like to say?
Marie Marino. Assistant Public Defender.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I have the honor of presiding over the Juvenile Mental Health Court, and I've been on the bench over 28 years, and it's the most rewarding work I've ever done in all my time on the bench. And it's something that didn't happen just overnight. It took time, and it took a lot of work from a lot of dedicated people. And again, it's just a great example. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, just another great example of corroboration and teamwork that we're fortunate to have here in Hillsborough County with the county, with our county schools. They're a big player in our court. All the providers, the Office of the Public Defender, the Office of the State Attorney, the Office of the Clerk, and of course our court as well. We see success. You know, they talk about success for kids. We see success in this court. And this YES program, Paula is just simply amazing. You know, she made a joke about even providing clothes. We had a kid this week. I don't have clothes to go to school. We're going to go drop the clothes off to you. I mean, they go above and beyond. You know, I can't get there. We're going to send somebody to pick you up. As Marie pointed out, it's not just, okay, here's a phone number, we'll call. They go with them, and they embrace this family. And we see some families that they're living in hotels, they're living in cars, just no stability at home. You see some kids that have nobody. I mean, some kids, you see the families that are engaged, and some where the families aren't quite as engaged. But it's been very, very rewarding work, and Ms. Marino certainly is, I think, the straw that stirs our drink in our problem-solving courts, particularly in our mental health court. So she's definitely a credit to your office, Ms. Holt, and I'm very honored and privileged to work with her and work with this great team. I've got the least amount of involvement. I show up at staffings, I show up at court, and they're there doing the work every day with these people.
As we say all the time in our office, the teddy bear judge. You know, it really is a different way of doing business, because if you think about it, you know, these are individuals that are either incompetent to proceed or have mental illnesses, and we would literally say to them, hey, we want you to go see Dr. So-and-so, as if they were really going to be able to navigate that. And instead, what we've done in this particular court, and clearly because Judge Figueroa has allowed us to make some significant changes, we actually bring the mental health evaluators to the courthouse. We don't send our people away. We bring the services to them to the extent that we can, and we avoid, number one, the cost of the no-shows, because they couldn't, with transportation problems, or really not even having understood what we were telling them to do. So this is really a big game changer, no doubt about it. Anytime you have services that can go into a home and literally see what is going on and address the problems, as opposed to just seeing someone in your office, it's really tremendously different. And we'd be remiss if we didn't say thank you to the Board of County Commission, of course, who helped us initial funding for this particular court and really has allowed us to make a lot of differences in people's lives. So I'm excited. This is, as Judge Figueroa said, this is probably one of the highlights of my career also, and I know it is for Ms. Marino. So thank you all for the good work you do, and I'm sure there's other people that would like to comment today. Most people here have been to the court and have seen how it operates. And it's really great just to see how many stakeholders and partners really work together to try and make someone successful.
I'm sure it's so different than a regular courtroom where it's an adversarial system. You know, our court, our adult mental health court and our juvenile mental health court, it's a team effort where everybody pitches in, and we are very, very fortunate to have the support of the County Commission in Hillsborough County, and it's greatly appreciated.
And Mr. Parkinson's always finding some grant money for us in some way or another. So Rob, as usual, you know, you really have really helped launch a big change this time, so thank you. Commissioner Overman.
Thank you, and I just want to thank your team and the whole process, because you know, working on the DCF issue, working on the process of helping CHN, you know, establish its processes, and then find ourselves in a situation where the kids are in the court system when they have a mental health issue, because we haven't maybe been able to do what you do earlier on in the process. And unfortunately, being poor isn't a crime, but it oftentimes finds itself in that environment. So I just want to say how much I appreciate the work that you're doing. And that's one of the reasons why the project I was talking about earlier is being explored, so that we can track whether or not an applied behavioral analysis has been done when a child is coming into the foster care system or going into the Family Assessment Center, to discern whether or not the poverty or the trauma or even being removed from a home has caused the family to disintegrate into not being functional, or not having a home, or rent going up and not having a car, which is crippling in Hillsborough County. So I just want to say how much I appreciate the work you do. And hopefully if we get the pipeline before it gets to you, you'll be less burdened with the number of cases, right? I mean, the goal here is to get you out of a job.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But we can't do it with all of without having our partners. Are you able to gather case data, case management data? For example, if we get to a place where applied behavioral analysis becomes part of the process in the foster care system, are you able to acquire that data, or is that how these children end up in the mental health court, because that resource is made available, or that information is made available?
So we don't have, I mean, you know, it's done on a client-by-client basis, I guess is what I would say. So for Johnny, who also happens to be in the child welfare system, we can get a release of information and then get that access to the information that would be like, say, in FISVIN or something like that. Or if they're being served by another provider, then certainly we will do the legwork to get a release signed, and, you know, we partner with that provider. If it's a, you know, a behavior analyst or whatever it was, we would partner with that provider to see, you know, what's happening, how can we supplement that, do they need anything else? So we would do it on a case-by-case basis. On a system-by-system basis, no. I mean, that's a long, I mean, you know, like you all, I attend a lot of different meetings in this community, and that's an ongoing discussion about data sharing, like you guys were talking about this morning, you know, about more people having appropriate access to FISVIN, and, you know, I mean, all of that kind of stuff.
I'm working on it.
I
I'm working
appreciate
on
it. I will say, though, Children's Network has been, you know, I mean, they're very new in the community, but they've been a great partner so far, and they have already joined our advisory board. Shavana Gentry jumped right in. So we're really excited about that new relationship, and have some hope there.
I agree. I think there's a real opportunity to do things better.
Agreed.
And they are very sensitive to the need for being able to data share appropriately across all of the partners. And clearly, we want to make sure that yes, it's part of that process.
And vice versa for us. I mean, we have all this wealth of data now on these kids, or, you know, we will when we serve them. And so, you know, we want to be able to appropriately share that data with them, too, because it's important.
And you probably don't have it now, but I would be curious to know how many of the children that are in the mental health court are actually in the DCF system or in the foster care system. Do you have that?
Well, so when we were first starting, we kind of looked at all the kids that were in the court, and it was about, do you remember the percentage? It was, I was going to say 40. I thought it was like 40%.
Probably just under half.
Yeah, I think it was about 40% of the kids that were active in the court were also active in child welfare. Or had a history.
Or had a history, yeah, exactly. So thank you very much for the work you do. I look forward to partnering with you. And Rob, you're an angel. Thank you. All the work that you do to be able to find these dollars to make this happen. The piece I'm still wanting to try and discern is the reimbursement rate for therapy rates. Is that a barrier to acquiring enough staff when it comes to offering the therapy for your families?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we're fortunate that this is a cost reimbursement contract. Right. So it's not a fee-for-service contract in that kind of way. So we're fortunate there, but I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, you know, money's always an issue. Right. The problem that we're having, I mean, I'll just say it, the problem that we're having hiring therapists is that the private sector has really, really upped their game in this area. And therapists can sit at home, I always say, in pajama pants, and see 7 clients a day remotely and make $70,000. And I can't come close to paying them that, and I want them to go in home, and so it's been a very challenging environment to hire therapists in post, you know, well, I guess for posts. But on this side of the pandemic, it's been extremely challenging, especially, like I said, with our strong commitment to in-home work. There is a whole group of people who don't want to do in-home work anymore.
Right. Are you partnering with the various different healthcare agencies like, Baycare and a variety of others that have made a commitment to mental health? Because I know they're looking for partners to be able to provide that kind of support systems.
Yeah, I mean, we're partnering with lots of people. Like Paolo said, it is not our goal in this program to provide all the services at all. We couldn't do that. I mean, that's impossible. So we want to partner with whatever, we partner with Chrysalis a lot, with Northside, Baycare Northside, with Grace Point. We partner with all those people if they can serve the kid. So, I mean, Paula's team kind of evaluates it as they're coming in. If a child has Medicaid, for example, the very first thing we're gonna do is to try and see, can they see a provider that the Medicaid will pay for? If they've failed at that, if it hasn't gone well, if, sometimes language isn't, depending on the issues, then that's when they become a tier 2, and we'll provide the therapy ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I can personally attest that 2 years ago, finding anybody that would accept Medicaid or Sunshine Health to provide any kind of mental health whatsoever was impossible. There was no one on the list in Hillsborough County.
Right.
So it has been, hopefully been corrected since then.
I mean, I will say Sunshine's a great partner too, in general. I mean,
But I mean, there were no available providers. And so that, building that network of service partners, I think will benefit all of our residents. So thank you, like I said, if you found them, great, because I never was able to. And I appreciate the work that you do. Thank you.
Mr. Parkinson, sir.
Just a couple comments. I just wanted to reiterate what a partnership this was. The Public Safety Coordinating Council and its constituent agencies have long worked on issues regarding the adult criminal justice system and the adult interaction between criminal justice and behavioral health system. We've typically left juvenile issues to the Juvenile Justice Board because that's why we have it. In this unique situation, the state of Florida requires the Public Safety Coordinating Council to be the ultimate oversight group for programs like this. And you guys stepped up. You were willing to be there. The first application did not get approved, which it was an ego hit for us because we are used to 100% success rate when it comes to those programs. And what we looked at the feedback, and the feedback was that the belief in Tallahassee was that there's a comprehensive delinquency system that the state funds. There's a comprehensive dependency system that the state funds. There's a comprehensive behavioral health system. A lot of the kids that would be going through juvenile mental health court should eventually be Medicaid eligible. But the reality is they're not. And when we circle back around and put our heads together, and Ms. Marino was instrumental in this, in pointing out the foibles in the system, the gaps in the system. And if we look at the existing delinquency, dependency, and behavioral health system as the bricks, Marie was telling us we need the glue, we need the mortar to hold all of that together. The other issue that we needed is we needed immediate action. We can't, Chief Judge Figueroa can't wait for somebody's eligibility to be determined in a month, 2 months, 3 months. We don't have time for that. In the interim, that kid, that family needs services. They need them now. And that's where the stakeholders got together, PD, state attorney, court administration, our nonprofit partners, really put their head together and helped elucidate the gaps in the system. And on our second application, it was approved, and we were all elated about it. And what they didn't mention is we have funding for 3 years, which is awesome, so that gives us some breathing room. The other issue is it also gives us some opportunity to really do some collective problem solving over the next 3 years. And we talked about the evaluator that we have really looking at these issues, again, helping us point out how we can improve the system. Earlier this year, we did a sequential intercept mapping of the juvenile justice system, which we hadn't done since, I think it was 2009-ish was the last time we did it. And the work product from that has not been publicly released yet. There's a draft that some key stakeholders like Marie had a chance to review and give feedback on. I'm hoping that USF is able to give us the final product in the coming weeks. But long story short, as we found out in the last 12 years or so, the system has changed significantly. And the stakeholders haven't kept up with it. So I think this new sequential intercept mapping is going to provide a springboard and foundation for us to address those systematic changes that we need to make. And from what I'm seeing already, I see some of what Chief Judge Figueroa is doing in his juvenile mental health court and what these guys are doing as really the model that we should all be using consistently across the board. And I'm hoping that we can generalize this expertise back to the dependency and delinquency in traditional behavioral health systems. I think they have a lot to learn to what these partners have created. The other issue is, I got to thank Deb McGinty from my office, who took point from the county's perspective when we were talking about this and deciding if we wanted to expend the time and resources in pursuing this, because we knew it was going to be an uphill battle. The direction that I gave to her was, I don't want to hear no for these kids when they need services, when they need access. I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear there's a wait list. I don't want to hear it's going to take a month, 2 months, 3 months for them to get in service. I want to hear yes. And when we ended up getting the program, Deb said, how about we call this yes?
Yes.
Because that's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we need. And here we are today. And again, I just have to thank Success for Kids and Families. They really stepped up on this. And again, I talk about that second application. We had a very quick window to turn around and submit that second application. And I have to say that our partners, Success for Kids and Families, the Public Defender's Office, Court Administration, they literally all wrote the application jointly. And that's pretty much unheard of for my office. And we'll get technical expertise from the stakeholders. We'll get data from the stakeholders. We usually put everything together, but this was really a joint project. My staff, Ms. Marina, were up till probably 10, 11 o'clock at night, doing narratives to convince the state that there's gaps in the system. And again, the end result is they were successful. So thank you very much for everything that you've done.
Absolutely. Ms. Stewart?
Thank you. Thank you. I love this program. I especially love the name. Rob, I think you may work in my office mistakenly where we say yes to a lot of things as well. Judge Figueroa, thank you for taking this on. I know this gets talked about a lot across the state and with your colleagues, and I know you're one of the first to do this. What is the percentage of juveniles that get sent from your mental health court into this program? I know there's only 24, but I'm just trying to get a sense of how many kids are you actually seeing that you need to refer?
I think,
Maybe I
at
can
least
answer
in our case, our caseload last year was a little bit less than 3,000, and at one point, we'd actually, I think, figured out that we had referred to the mental health court something over 300 kids, probably close to 400. So you're probably looking at, to get, at some point, you're going to look at about 10% of the kids to have some type of underlying mental illness.
Right. Well, and I just know because of the work we did when we were on juvenile justice and now the mental health response team that Ms. Marino was so instrumental in getting. What I'm wondering is, and you have 24 kids referred right now with a very, very small staff, and I know you're struggling there. I'm wondering if this group or someone should not consider a push at the legislative level for someone to understand. I look at and I see the dollars that this county gets, what comes through my office for mental health and for Baker Act every single month. And annually, that number is big, and we're bigger than most counties across the state. And we need to be having, I know there's been a lot of talk about mental health at the state level and funding and funding and funding. I don't know where that money has gone, because clearly we're not seeing it here. But what are we doing to have that conversation at the state level if we're, because 3 years is going to go by really quick. I know it seems like a long time, and you have a very small and limited staff now. And with the numbers that we're talking about that are getting pushed into the juvenile mental health court, you're not going to be able to sustain. So you'll be able to help a small amount, but we're not helping all kids. Just like it was when we were Baker Acting, we're not helping all kids because most of them didn't need to be Baker Acted. So I'm just curious if there is anyone's going to take that on as a project and lift that as a legislative priority at the state level, because I really think that that's where we need to go with this.
however, you give me the documents and the data, and I will run it up that flagpole as fast as I possibly can, because I recognize that this isn't the only area that needs those kinds of resources to avoid having to get into the juvenile justice system. So it's not just the juvenile justice system that needs that kind of support. It's all of the foster care systems. But I would be more than willing to work with all of you to make that happen.
I serve on the commission, on the statewide commission on mental health and substance abuse, and really the focus has been on adult mental health, and I'm trying to steer it more toward the juvenile side. So it's kind of a working project with that commission as well. So
We have drafted an adult mental health court handbook, which is pretty much the last step for best practices in our adult mental health court. Marie and Juria Wiles from the state attorney's office have been tasked with starting to draft a juvenile mental health court handbook, and then that will be the last step for what we've done. So I think we could really collaborate on this issue, and including with the school board and the school system, because they're a huge part of how we're moving things forward. So, it's obviously, this is a diversion problem-solving court, and so we need to probably go under that continued umbrella, so we're going to have to make sure that we're committed to that type of a court. Everyone, thank you very much, and Ms. Marino, as 31 years together, and we talked about this, and it finally came to fruition, and so we always... Well, and we always thank the chief judge, because I remember when we first went to talk to him about creating another court, and we said, oh, and we'd like for you to be the judge in there too, by the way. So, I mean, we got all of our wish lists, and so that really worked out well. So, Judge, thank you very much, and thank you all. Really appreciate it. All right, our last thing to discuss before other business and public comment is whether we have some agenda items for the November 18th, 2022, which is a full council meeting. And so, Mr. Parkinson, I don't know if you'd like to have the same presentation for the full council, and if you do, I'm sure they'd be willing to do that for us. I know, Ms. Stewart, by then you'll have an ability to enhance what you discussed today. And it'll also be the meeting where we'll look at Florida Statute 951.26, which is what created this council, and look at the attendance record for the year. And Ms. Preza, will you be here for November? Okay. Ms. Preza is in training for Ms. Nappy right now. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, you can write this one down and take it back to the sheriff now, so you can say I spoke nicely today. They have supported this council for years and years and years and years. Ms. Stewart is now going to assume that responsibility here, probably starting in 2023.
Christine is going to assume that responsibility.
So, see, I always just use you. And I also wanted to say, by the way, that before we called the court the yes court, I did call Ms. Stewart and say, is it okay if we kind of like borrow the yes? And she was very gracious about that. So, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say, that we have appreciated the tremendous support of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. But it's an appropriate movement over to the clerk of court. Christine, we're a very gentle group, so don't worry about anything. Don't think that we're going to be a tough group to deal with at all, okay? Thank you very much for everything that you all have done for us. So we'll have the clerk's office data sharing update at that point, and we will also do the Juvenile Mental Health Court Enhancement Project presentation for the full council. Any other items that we would like to see? Mr. Parkinson and then Commissioner Overman.
You can go first, Commissioner.
I was just going to let you know that at the Commission on Human Trafficking meeting next week, if my calendar is in my head correctly, there is going to be a presentation by Jean Early and I believe the Sheriff's Office in conjunction to talk about the step-down unit that the sheriff has asked for resources to be able to address that transition for those that are moving from incarceration to freedom, and making sure that they have the sufficient resources to let that landing strip be a smooth exit. So I'm looking very much forward to it. A lot of that work has come out of this board's work to be able to discuss how the challenges are faced by those folks that are moving from incarceration and the recidivism rates. And so hopefully that will help with addressing that issue. So we'll be discussing that at the next meeting.
And would you like for that to be on the November agenda here?
I think that would be reasonable, if everyone is able to show
Absolutely.
up. So we'll put it on the agenda if that's appropriate.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Parkinson?
That was actually my point as well. No, it's okay, it's okay. It's, I work for you. In our July meeting, I had briefed this group that Commissioner Overman and the Board of County Commissioners had appropriated sufficient funds to get the 1800 Orient Road step-down unit off the ground. And Ms. Holt asked for a future presentation. It was too early to do it this month, but they did agree to come back at our next full council meeting and give us a status update, which is better because there's a lot of construction and permitting issues that had to be addressed. But they are definitely, I talked to their staff, they're willing to come to a presentation at our next full council meeting. Let us know, you know, there's some folks that weren't involved in the process, so they'll give a general overview, and then they'll also give us a status update, which is particularly apropos because our Hillsborough County Recidivism Reduction Initiative, the federally funded reentry program is coming to an end. And 1800 Orient Road is going to take that and just inject it with steroids and run with it, and it's going to be a much more comprehensive, broad-based program. So they are willing to come, I think it's November is our next meeting.
And it'll be a joint presentation by Gene Early and someone from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office? Or-
I know it'll be Gene Early,
Okay.
and of course, the Colonel will be here as well, and she'll be able to opine on any issues.
Okay, all right. Any other agenda items that we need to consider? All right then, thank you. Is there any other business that anyone would like to discuss? Is there public comment? Anyone who is appearing virtually, any comments from you?
Not me.
All right, motion to adjourn by Mr. Bates. Thank you all very much for coming, and see you in November for the full council meeting.